He fed me rat poison and tried to kill me. I was almost on my deathbed. God was going to destroy the world, and the people around me who weren't in the cult would melt and just disintegrate and melt in front of our eyes. If I live past this, then I'll do something with my life. If I don't, good. So I drove out in the woods near the Dismal Swamp, and I took the Stepdad's 357. I put one bullet in the chamber and I spun it and I put it in my head and pulled the trigger. It's almost like if God is the ocean, we're a wave, you know, and we're in a unique wave, a unique expression of God.
At 15, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Before that, he survived a doomsday cult, abuse, poverty, and being poisoned as a child. Then one night, alone in the woods with a loaded gun, everything changed. What happened next took him from a life of trauma and despair to one of purpose, healing, and resilience. This is Raven's story. Today we have Raven on our podcast.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for
Hi.
having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm really excited to talk to you and learn more about you and your journey. Why don't you begin and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh gosh. Well, I thank you for having me, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
I am a lifelong musician and martial artist, but I had kind of a rough beginning, and I love to share the story because I know in my heart of hearts that no matter how hard your beginning was, it you can use it as fuel to become successful in your life. You know, I'll just jump right in and tell you
Yes,
that
I want to know. I want to know everything. So, yes,
I
let's
was
begin.
raised in a cult.
Oh,
It was a
yeah.
doomsday cult.
So explain what doomsday is. Like you always think like God is coming or the end of the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was taught that it was prudent for you to be a faithful and discreet slave, and that we must be, uh, and God was going to destroy the world, and the people around me who weren't in the cult would melt
Oh.
and just disintegrate and melt in front of our eyes, and we would be the only ones that would survive.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the way I was brought up, and it was uh, we basically lived in a little shack, and we were very very poor and didn't have any advantages because I didn't even go to school. I was homeschooled, and we basically homeschooled on the Bible and whatnot. And I thought every time a thunderstorm would go by that this was it, that and I didn't think I was worthy. I was certainly not good enough. I had zero confidence, zero um, belief that I was one of the good people, and so I was sure I was going to die, and so I'd hide underneath the pillows and covers every time a
So were you
thunderstorm went
born
by.
born and raised in
Yeah,
the cult? So were your parents were always in it?
yeah,
I'm assuming.
yeah.
When you say a slave to like describe that.
You were a slave to the cult, to the organization, to the leaders, who were getting messages directly from God. They were the messenger of God. Yeah.
So did you all live in the same space, like in the same land, or what
No,
did that look like?
we were spread out. I lived on a little farm in Virginia, and with my mother, and my dad left us, and so we were fending for ourselves for a while, and so we lived in a little shack, and didn't have hardly any food, and it was hard. It was difficult.
Was your dad part of the cult? Like how was he able to leave?
He was, and actually, there's a story of him, where he had to give a speech or sermon, if you will, in front of the congregation, and I got really sick and I threw up all over him, and he went out in front of the congregation and kind of gave them what for, and then that night he drove us home. He stopped and got a case of beer and drank all of it, and then left. He left. He was like, "That's it. I'm done." He went back to the Colts later, years later, but he abandoned us and left us, and so we were fending for ourselves. And back in 1970 something, it was pretty difficult for a single mom to
Oh,
to
yeah.
fend for themselves.
Do you have siblings?
I have a sister and a brother. My sister went through it as well, and brother not as much. My brother is from another marriage
Okay.
that my mom married a guy who was part of the cult.
Mhm.
Didn't know him at all, but she felt she got messages from God that
Mm.
would signal her to marry this guy. Well, this guy was a terrible, terrible person and did horrible things to me and my sister,
Your stepdad.
yeah, he was my stepdad. Yeah, did horrible things to us. In fact, he fed me rat poison and tried to kill me. I was almost on my deathbed.
How old were you?
I was maybe 7,
Oh my
and
goodness.
my mom discovered it through the eye doctor that I was being poisoned. She couldn't figure out why I was so sick,
Mm.
but this eye doctor discovered it, and
How would an eye doctor know?
I that is a question I don't have an answer to, but my mom said it was the eye doctor that discovered it. I guess there's ways they can look into your eyes and find things. I don't know, but an eye
Oh.
doctor discovered it. Yeah,
Because it being in a cult, were you able to see, like, I guess I picture, like, they didn't wanna have anything to do with, like, Western medicine or anything like that. Is that true, or did
a little bit.
a
There
little
there
bit?
were some rules about medicine and doctors and things like that, but we did go to the doctor. But they when my mom told the people in the cult, that they said, Don't say anything, don't go to the police, don't do anything. It'll bring bad press and whatnot to the organization. Don't do it." And so we basically yeah, she didn't go to the police, and she did escape from that guy.
Oh, she did.
She finally did,
How
yeah.
was she able to do that?
She just left in the middle of the night and
It took you guys.
took us, yeah.
So was that the end of you being in the cult after
No,
it all? No.
no, we moved back into the shack,
Okay.
and we stayed there until I was 16, 17 years old, and then she met this other guy
Oh my goodness.
who was not in the cult, but he was an alcoholic, and he used to beat me up. He didn't beat my brother up. He was a little guy then, and didn't mess with my sister, but
Are you the
beat me up.
oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah. He used to beat
So
me up and stuff.
you got the worst of all of it.
Yeah,
When you were being poisoned and sick, like, from your perspective as, a small child, did you feel like your mom wasn't protecting you, or how
yeah.
did you view adults?
I didn't know what was happening. I was just so sick.
Was it in your food?
It was in my food. Yeah. He he owned
That's absolutely terrible.
yeah, he
Sorry.
would he would fe he would poison my food, and I got so sick, I was just, like, on my deathbed, I didn't know what was going on. I was too young.
Was he doing it to your sister as well?
Not to my
No?
sister.
I
No.
wonder why he would target,
Target me?
well, a child. I mean, at that, like, someone that's supposed to protect you, even if it
Yeah.
is your stepdad and not your biological dad. I don't understand.
He was abusing us sexually as well, and
Oh,
and my sister and myself, and so there was a lot going on at that time, so, uh
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm so sorry.
well, it's okay. It is what it is,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and so that triggered a lot of trauma,
Yeah.
and especially religious trauma that I tend to have. But right around the age of 15, I started having massive mood swings, and I was diagnosed with what was then known as manic depression.
Okay.
You know, because I would go in these fits of rage, and then I'd be depressed, and then I'd do all kinds of crazy things, and
Well, from a mom's perspective, I would personally think it was a lot to do with what you had gone through,
yeah,
from being poisoned and sexually abused.
yeah.
Um, was she able to get you any sort of help or
Yeah, but back in those days, the mental health industry was kind of like, you know, it was not as accepted, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, and more today, people wanna talk about it and wanna start
Right.
healing. So you said you were diagnosed as manic, but was it something else, or do they call it something else today?
They call it bipolar today.
Bipolar.
Yeah,
Can you
bipolar
explain a
today.
little bit more about bipolar?
So it's a mood disorder, chemical imbalance in the brain. They say that it can be triggered by trauma and things like that, and so I'm sure that's what brought it on me, But
Well,
it's
yeah.
hereditary. I inherited it from my great grandmother, you
Um,
know. But it's a mood disorder where you have super highs and super lows, and for me, it's a lot of mania. I get a lot of
okay.
mania, or
Explain that because we kinda talked about that yesterday a little bit, that were saying you get a lot of your work done when you're in that state of
yes,
mind.
yes,
So, it can go from mania or manic, what some people call it, to depression. Is that
yes,
correct?
yes. But my depression doesn't hit me as often as it used to when I was a kid. I was very suicidal at many times when I was younger, But now not so much. No, I don't have that as much.
So so I read a little bit about it. If you do go are in those states, it can last months, correct?
Yep.
Before before you feel, I guess, is it normal, or is there a thing called normal to you, or
I don't know
what
what
is
that
that?
feels like. I mean, they say when you're on medication, you feel like that, a little more
Uh-huh.
leveled off. It doesn't to me, life feels very, much like a roller coaster,
All the time.
yeah, all the time.
Hmm. Hmm. Explain that to me. I kinda wanna know. I wanna know how
But
I wanna know how your brain
how it
works.
works in there?
Yes.
I
I'm really curious.
I just tell you that my friends say I'm very eccentric. You know,
Okay,
I'm very
yeah.
eccentric. I don't have many boundaries for my life. I'm all in or all out. I
Okay.
don't really have any middle ground. I'm either all about it and I'm going to do it 100% and to the best of my ability, and I go overboard sometimes.
Do you lose interest quickly in some things?
Mm, Sometimes it
Mhm.
depends. I mean, I'll shift back and forth, like if I'm gonna write a book, I can be all in a book and I can get a book done in months,
Mhm.
and it takes people a couple years sometimes to write a book, and I can do it in months because I just stay up and I'm just write, 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 write.
Yeah, you say you don't really require a lot of sleep,
I don't
and
require a lot of sleep.
and that's part of the bipolar as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Hmm. Huh. I think it would, in a sense, be nice to be able to go, 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 and do all these things without, like, the roller coaster feeling.
Often wonder if my life is like on a short fuse because I
Mhm.
do burn so much of my time. I don't know if my life is expanded because of that or shortened because of that. I feel like it might be because I'm go 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 go, and and
Mhm.
and oftentimes people I notice spend a lot of time resting and kind of like just sitting and just kind of like vegging maybe, and
Okay. Yeah.
I can't do that.
No. Eh, well, and you live in a good area here where there's a lot of things to do, so you don't need to be vegging. I guess
Yeah,
unless it's hot
yeah.
outside. I don't know.
I have to always be doing some kind of
Doing something.
project and writing music or writing a book or creating videos, or yeah, I have to always be creating, and it's an expressive outlet that I need. If I
Mhm.
don't have it, then that's when my depression kicks in.
Mm. So back when you got diagnosed at 15, they didn't know exactly what it was. Did you go on any sort of medication back then?
Tons of medications. In fact, they put me in the hospital several times,
Or like a
mental
mental
hospital.
hospital?
Yeah,
Because they couldn't figure out what was happening, or
because I kept flying off the handle. To be honest with you,
Mm.
I'd have these fits where I didn't even know where I was doing. It felt like I was watching myself in third person, you
Oh.
know. And even today, I'll have months where I don't remember what I did for the past couple months,
Because you're
sometimes.
so busy? Is
'Cause
that
I'm so
why,
manic
or manic?
that I don't even remember what I do sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, but I'll lose complete months.
Like time frames.
Mhm.
So sometimes minutes and seconds don't even apply. Is that what it is?
A whole
Huh.
month
Wow.
where I'm like, "What did I do?" I'll come to and I'll come out of it, like, "What did I do?"
Mhm.
And I don't even know what I did, and sometimes it's really good stuff, like I wrote a whole rock opera, which I did one time, and, or I did something crazy, I never know.
So do you have family members close by that tell you or help
Yeah.
you out or
My wife is really good at, like, telling me, like, "You're getting something's going on with you."
how long have you been married?
It'll be 24 years this month, the
Oh,
next couple days
that's
on the 22nd,
awesome.
yeah.
That's exciting. And you have someone that's like knows you well enough to go
Yeah.
along for the ride with you.
Yeah. She's like,
Give you
you're not acting right, like, there was one time my neighbor I could have sworn was building a bomb shelter, but he was
Oh,
not building a bomb
but
shelter.
but to you he was.
To me, it was. I mean, I saw it. I could see it. I knew it was there. I knew he was up to no good. I don't know why I thought he was up to no good. But I'm like coming in the house. He's doing this. He's doing that. And he's like, no, there's not going on. You need to go sleep because you're way manic right now. And
So do you function better with with more sleep so you're not as manic?
it's a way to break the cycle is if you sleep. And so sometimes I have to take like the melatonin or something like that to force myself to go to sleep and break the
Mhm.
cycle.
Yeah. Because I think with our first phone call we talked about you don't drink, you don't do
No.
medication. So is it like mostly like natural
Yep.
like I like that.
Yep. Yeah.
I believe in natural healing
Me
and
too.
I mean this stuff was put on earth for us, right?
Exactly,
I
exactly.
don't want to put something foreign into my body.
Unless I
Uh,
absolutely have to. I don't like
yeah.
that at all. I love that you love the natural healing. I
Mhm.
prefer that, and as a and I prefer to treat my bipolar and my trauma and all of these things as natural as I possibly can.
Mhm.
You know, but I say all of that stuff, like all this bad stuff happened, but I don't wish it to be any other way.
Well, do you feel that you have a lot to teach people because of what you went through?
Yeah, I have a
Or
lot to
you're
share.
like more relatable in a sense, or m- more sympathetic or compassionate for others?
It made me who I am today,
Yeah.
like all of the stuff that you're going through or went through, it happened,
Mhm.
but it built you into the person that you are. And without that struggle, you couldn't grow. See, I think that it's the perfect plan,
Yeah.
right? S- Pain and suffering and trials and tribulations is the perfect plan because if life was all good all the time, it would be like this, all good all the time.
Yeah.
If it was all bad all the time, it would be like this. And what they call that is a flat line. Life doesn't happen in a flat line. It happens in a heartbeat, up and down, up and down, up and down. And
Mhm.
so we have to live those good times and bad times to really be living life. So I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, when you got diagnosed and then you had your new stepdad and he was abusing you
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
how did you get out of that? Because it sounds to me like you said you were manic and they couldn't control you. And so do you also think that that was a part of his abuse or do you think he was just abusive
Well,
because he's an alcoholic or
ooh, yes, all of the above.
okay.
See, my mom would take me to martial arts. We weren't allowed to do martial arts and things like that, but she would take me to martial arts. And he was a martial artist as well. So I would go to martial arts class, and then he would come home drunk and be like, "Show me what you learned today," and then he would just beat the tar out of me. I got out of the whole thing because I turned 18,
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm out of here, man.
mm,
And I went and lived on my own, and my mom did help me. She got me a trailer, and I went and lived in the trailer, and you know
You said you didn't have education, so you weren't allowed to be, but you were homeschooled.
Homeschool. Well, I in high school I auditioned for something called the Governor's Magnet School.
Oh, what? Yeah, explain that.
It's a school for the arts,
Okay.
and I went to Governor's Magnet School for singing. I got in the show choir, and I was so shy and so timid that I changed it over to opera.
Oh, really?
So then I started doing operatic singing.
So you were scared to do what kind of singing?
I was scared to do the dancing and the costumes and all
Okay.
of that stuff. Now they have costumes and stuff in opera, but it's not the same kind of thing. And and the show choir did lots of shows, and the opera did one or two shows.
Okay.
And so I said yes, I want to do the opera instead of the show choir. I wish I would have done the show choir, to be honest with
Mm.
you. But yeah, I just didn't have any confidence in myself.
Well, I feel that though opera would you'd have to have a lot of confidence. Like your voice would have to be loud and strong and
Yeah,
like I don't know, I've only seen a couple of operas and I feel when they get on stage it's the whole you have to
yeah.
fill a whole area.
And it did teach me that. It
Mm.
did teach me that, I mean, I give voice lessons today, because of
Well, the School of Rock.
at the
Is
School of
that
Rock.
correct?
Yep, yep,
That's
yep.
exciting. You do so many things. I think that's amazing.
Mm.
So do you help these kids find their voice at School of Rock?
Yeah, that's the idea, to be able to teach them how to sing and perform. I feel like music and martial arts, they teach you how to become confident. They teach you how to be disciplined, they teach you how to achieve goals, and they teach you how to find your voice
Mm.
or find your authentic self.
Mm. I
To me,
love
that's
that.
it.
This has actually been my goal this year, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Find my voice and my authentic self. And when we spoke that very first day, uh, I don't know, you resonated with me, and I was like, yes, yes.
Well, I
All the
appreciate that.
above of what you are doing in your life, I think, is magical and
Well, thank you.
beautiful for people.
I appreciate that.
Uh, oh, you're welcome. But tell me more about this school, though. So you went into the school and you graduated from there.
Yes, I graduated there. I wish I would have paid more attention. I wish I would have done more.
Yeah, but
Um,
you were a teenager.
but I was a teenager. Yeah.
You're in it like right there,
Yeah.
and it's the most selfish time
Yeah.
of your life.
Exactly. And I just thought I knew everything. Yet that once I
Yeah.
started gaining my confidence, I started
Mm.
playing in bands and when I graduated from the school, I went right into bands. I got like a professional band, and I started
That's
singing.
exciting.
Yeah,
So did you tour or did
I
you
did.
just do you
I did.
did?
I sang for a band called Red Totem Idol, and we toured and we did all kinds of things from opening up for Henry Rollins to L.A. Guns to we did all kinds of things, and we got on this label called Dreamscape Records out of New York City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was awesome, and
Going from a cult, then being out in public like like that, how did that make you feel? That's a lot.
I was really angry.
Were you?
I was
Like,
very
is that
angry.
the type of music as well
Yes,
that you chose? Okay.
very angry, and it was shock rock, or I
Okay.
turned it into shock rock
Hmm.
because
Well,
I was
explain
so
shock
angry.
rock to
Shock
me.
rock is you do about the wildest thing that you can think of, you know. Uh,
No, tell me. I wanna know.
yeah, okay.
I wanna know.
Yeah, okay. So my band members were scared of me because of the things I would do. I would take beer bottles and smash them on my head and bleed all over the place. And
Oh,
I started getting tattoos because I would take the broken glass and try to cut open my arms on stage. And
so you're covering up scars?
yeah, I started tattooing myself so I wouldn't do that.
Oh, because you
Yeah,
didn't wanna ruin your tattoos.
right, right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want to scar up myself. So I started tattooing my arms. But anyway, I would do that, and I would electrocute myself on stage. I'd climb up on the rafters and jump down, and
Well,
I
you weren't afraid of death
no,
either.
I invited it, to be honest with you. Back then, I made a cane that had razor blades all on it, and I would take it and smash myself like this on stage, and people would love it. They would love it, but it was, to me, it was, I was torturing myself. I needed
Publicly.
to, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah.
Huh.
And so that was Red Totem Idol, and when we stopped that, it was right around the time I just wanted to die. You know, I just wanted to die because I was so angry.
Were you angry at your something specific? Like, were you angry at your mom, or were you angry at your childhood or your dad's
I was
that
angry at God.
God?
You know, why did you put me through this? You
Mm,
know, if you were so real, why did you do this to me? You know.
yeah.
So I drove out once to this place that out in the woods near the Dismal Swamp, and I took the stepdad's 357, right, and I put one bullet in the chamber and I spun it, and I said,
Mm,
if I live past this, then I will do something with my life. If I don't, good. And I put it in my head and pulled the trigger, and it didn't. Nothing happened. It just went click.
I'm so sorry you
Uh,
did that.
yeah. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna do something. Let me go do something.
So that moment changed your did you lean more into God after that moment, or did
No,
you were just
no, I get even further from God.
you did?
I did.
How did you do that?
I became a Satanist.
You did.
In
Ah,
fact, some of these tattoos are cover up tattoos because I had Satan tattooed on my arm right here.
really?
This is covered up. Yeah.
So did it just make you more angry because you didn't die?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was so hurt and angry, you know. But here's where the story takes a turn.
Okay. I wanna
Okay,
know. I wanna
finally.
know. Well, no, I just mean, like, your mind I can see how a mind can go so dark and want to glean towards that, especially with everything that you have gone through all those years, and then, I mean, you're publicly even harming yourself.
Yeah,
That I mean, I can't imagine what you went through, and I'm sorry that you went through all of that, and then you had I don't even know what a Satanist is or what they do, I'll be honest with you. Like, you hear, like, dark stuff.
a Satanist was uh, uh, they are atheists, really. Atheists that are humanistic. So they believe that humans are the highest form, and that your own will is the driving force. Like so, humanist, it might be a better word for them. That they use Satan as a symbol for rebellion. That's really what
Mm.
it is. You know.
So, is it almost like you went from a cult to a different kind of cult?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately.
Mm.
So in 1999, I was in my trailer, yeah, and just remember I've been a martial artist the whole time too, right? So
From
I did
young. You're
meditation
young
since
and
young,
then okay.
and so I did meditation and things, and I was sitting in meditation, and I had no purpose for sitting there. I just was sitting in meditation, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like the finger of God just went, "Ding," and all of the pain and everything that I had was kind of just washed off of me. And then I recognized, you know, that we are all, in a way, not just God's children, but God's expression, unique expression. You know, it's almost like if God is the ocean, we're a wave, you know, and we're in a unique wave, unique expression of God. And what was I doing? What was I doing? And from that moment on, 1999 to now, I haven't looked back, and I've been grateful for those things that I went through because it made me realize and recognize. You know,
Mm. God was wrapping his arms around you and giving you love
yeah,
that you needed and were searching for all along, probably.
yeah, I needed it.
Oh, oh, that's beautiful. Mm. Eh, oh.
So, yeah,
I like that. And you said today you you are a Catholic Buddhist, so
Yeah.
meaning you were
I do
meditating that
meditations.
day in your
Yes.
trailer,
Yeah.
and then God came to you, and so you use meditation, Buddhism. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Or I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, if I'm wrong.
Well, I think Buddhism is a philosophy, a
Mhm.
living philosophy, you know, and Catholicism is a spiritual religious path, you know. I don't think Buddhism, although you could use Buddhism as a religious path, but uh, God isn't really the point in Buddhism,
Mhm.
where in Catholicism, God is the absolute point,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh. So after all of that, you what happened after the trailer? Because you're no longer in Virginia, you're here.
Now
So
I'm here, yeah.
there's a lot that
In
happened in
between,
between.
so I met my wife, and she came to one of my concerts. This was before I had that moment in '99. She came to one of my concerts. She thought I was a real arrogant jerk, and I was, 100%. But we met, and we became friends. And after my moment in 1999, we really started connecting, and we got married in 2002, and had children. And I retired from music for a while,
Why
and
is that? Did you just need a little bit of a
needed to
break?
raise the kids.
Okay.
Yeah,
No more
needed a
touring
day job.
to okay.
you know,
Yeah. You
needed
wanted
a
to be
day
home
job.
with the family instead of
Yeah,
going off and doing okay.
yeah. So I started a dojo, and I worked a day job and taught martial arts, and about 13, 14 years ago, one of my teachers, Black Hawk Walters, was living out here, and he said, I want you to move out here. And we did. We started a Cowboy and Indian tour company.
Okay, I like this story. So tell me a little
Yeah.
bit more about that
Yeah.
because it
Okay.
makes me laugh. Like
Okay.
the whole like I love UTVs and writing, and I grew up, with that kind of background,
Right.
and
Right.
so I want to hear more about this
Okay. So he
because you
goes,
move from here to here to do
it's such
something
a big,
completely
it's
different than
such a
what you've
big
ever
thing.
done. Yeah, yeah.
He said, let's start a Cowboy and Indian tour company. You be the cowboy, and I'll be the Indian. I said, Blackhawk, I don't know anything about being a cowboy. He said, Raven, it's no
Mhm.
problem. Get a cowboy hat, get yourself some boots,
There you go.
and a belt buckle, and everybody think you're a cowboy. I said, all right, I'm doing it. We're coming. So I moved the whole family across the country.
Wait, and did you have your dreads then too?
No, no, no,
No. Okay.
no
Just
dreads.
curious if you're writing. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Okay.
dreads at that point. But
Mm.
so I drive across country, and we get to Utah, and we buy a tour bus, and we do this magic show and music show, and we take them everywhere. But then they started asking me, well, what kind of horse do you ride? And I'm going, I never even been on a horse.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know the answer to these questions. I started inventing stuff like, and so the tour company, tour company didn't last too long. So I
Okay.
opened back the dojos again
Huh.
and started doing that again. And in the meantime, someone asked me to play a wine and cheese event on my guitar, and I said, well, I guess I could play some songs, some original songs, and some Elvis or something like that, and play it for you. So I did that, and then they booked me at this little place in St. George, the George's Corner,
Okay.
and I started playing there, and then it
Like by yourself or
by
with a
myself,
band? Okay,
just
a
me.
band. Sorry.
And next thing I know, George's Corner, the crowd is wrapped around the building to see me play, and the manager goes, "You've got to stop telling people you're playing here. We want you to still play, but don't advertise that you're playing."
Mm.
Because it was wrapped around the building and they couldn't get. And so what ended up happening is Rod Stewart's manager ended up coming to watch me play.
Oh my goodness.
And he said, you're too old. We can't take you on. You're too old. But turned Universal Music Group on to me. And
So yeah, who's Universal Music Group?
Universal UMG, they have just about everybody you could think of.
Okay.
They're a major record label.
Mhm.
And they sent UMG and a guy from a subsidiary to UMG out to see me, and they got a hold of my version of "You Are My Sunshine." I do a version of "You Are My Sunshine." It's kind of creepy, kind of dark version of it.
Now I gotta listen to it.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you. And they signed me
Hmm.
out of Little St. George, Utah. I got signed to this major label deal, and I put out 2 records on that,
So when
just by
you by
myself.
yourself?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah.
So he's saying you're too old, but then somebody else signed
Somebody
you.
else signed me, yeah. And actually, there's a
You're
song
never
on
too
the
old.
album that about that very incident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like, Rod Stewart's manager says I'm too old. How old is Rod Stewart?
Right.
Come on. Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, I ended up doing that, and we did a little touring with that, and played over, and I had a song go number 3 on the charts and overseas. So that was awesome, and um,
That's exciting. And you have your family and your kids were, I mean,
yeah,
they were so excited for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was cool.
Huh.
And then I got an offer to do my band sort of like dissolved a little bit. One of them went to rehab and went, and all of these things. So my band kind of dissolved. But I got this call to open up for Saving Abel and POD,
What's POD?
um, Payable Upon Death is a band POD.
POD. Okay.
And I didn't have a band, but I said, yeah, let's do that.
Hmm.
Let's do that. So I went out and I found all the best musicians in the area I could find, and they were like, let's call it something other than Raven Kane. Let's make it a band. I'm like, yeah, I want to make it a band, not just all about me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd been sitting on this name String Revolver for a while, and so we called it String Revolver. Went out and played, and what was going to be just one show turned into opening for Fishbone, and then Faster Pussycat, and then Sliva, and the next thing I know, we're selling out shows everywhere, and we're back at it again. And this year we got String Revolver got signed to Rage Breed Records out of the United Kingdom,
Well, that's
and so
exciting.
now we're back at it again. Thank
Congratulations.
you, thank you.
And you're the songwriter and lead singer.
Releasing,
Right.
well, I would say in String Revolver, I bring a lot of songs in, but we actually collaborate a lot as
Oh.
well. Yeah.
So what's your favorite song you've written
Ever or for String Revolver?
ever?
I have this song called Empty Eyes,
Hmm.
and it's about my bipolar.
Is it?
And to me, that's my favorite song I've ever written.
And
Yeah.
and why is that?
It really tells the truth. I mean, my songs, that's where I tell the truth in the most is my songs.
Hmm.
But that song really, even when I listen to it today, I get the goosebumps because it's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
It is it almost like you want people to see you, and so
Yeah.
it's a clear vision of
Yeah.
what you represent. Mm.
In fact, this is the first time I really openly talked about my bipolar and stuff, you know. Mm, So,
That's very courageous of you
yeah.
to be able to do that.
I figured it's time.
Mm. Sometimes there's healing in speaking your truth.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's time. Maybe it can help somebody else. You can have bipolar and go through terrible things and still be very successful in your life. And, you can even be at war with God for a while, you know, but he'll eventually call you back home. You know?
He tends to do that.
Yeah.
He wants his children to be near him.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, and I wanted to know a little more about your martial arts because you started it at a young age from someone who was abusive to you,
Yeah.
but you kept at it, and now you have a studio. Well, you've had multiple
Yeah.
studios, and you're helping many young men and women
Hmm.
do this. What is your passion for that?
I adore the martial arts because it does teach. Well, let's just take something as simple as your belts, like the belts that they teach.
Hmm.
There's different colored belts and different levels, but really what that is different goals. So you're teaching a kid how to go from white belt to yellow belt. Well, here's the goal, kid. You're doing this, and here's what you've got to do to achieve it. And by the way, it's going to take consistency to achieve that goal. And guess what? When you achieve that goal, you're going to get rewarded for it and set another goal. And then you're going to set another goal and achieve it, and another goal and achieve it, and another goal and achieve it until you reach your black belt, and you're going to achieve it. And then after you achieve your black belt, then there's another goal, and then it's a lifelong series of goals. So if a kid takes just that lesson, here's a goal, here's what I've got to do, here's how to stay consistent, and now I'm going to make it happen. They take just that one lesson, their life is already going to be more successful.
Mhm.
And then if you apply the discipline of the martial arts, well, it takes a lot of discipline to be consistent. A lot of discipline to be consistent. You apply that, and then you take the confidence that it builds in you because you know you can defend yourself. You know that you can be safe. You
Mhm.
apply all three of those things, you've got the recipe for a very successful young person. And to me, that's worth teaching over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Even just sitting with you right now, I can imagine learning from you, and you would be very patient and understanding, and at least that's how it seems
I I I
to me.
I want to be that patient because
Yeah,
I did, people weren't patient with me, and so I want to be exactly opposite of everything that I.
that you were raised.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and these younger kids, they need that discipline. It's hard sometimes to reel them in,
yeah.
and so being patient with them and understanding that that's a talent to have.
Well, I realize that kids want structure.
Mhm.
They really want structure, and they really want a strong leader to look up to. And if you
I
can be
agree.
a strong, positive leader, and you teach them how to be leaders, not followers, and always to be their authentic and best self, then they're going to embrace that, and they typically do embrace that, and it makes worlds of change, just from little things like we have a rewards system at my school
Mhm.
where they come in, if they say yes sir, yes ma'am all week long, they get points. If they make their beds, they get points. If they do good, get good grades, they get points. If they do a good deed, they get good points. If they do all these things, their chores, they get points. And these points, they can buy toys.
Oh, that's cool.
Like Fiesta Fun or some place where they collect the points and they buy toys, and they are loving it. They can't wait to show me. Oh, Sensei, I said yes, sir, all week long to my dad, and I said yes, ma'am. I made my bed every single day this week, and oh, here's the report card because I give tremendous amount of points for A's for the kids. So they get A's on their report cards or their top score on the report cards. They get lots of
Mhm.
points, and they're all saving and trying to get the big toys and
Mm. Well, they're being held accountable,
yeah.
and I think kids like that.
Oh yes.
And I liked when you said kids want structure and discipline. They do,
Yeah.
and it builds their character.
Yeah.
And then here you are rewarding them for doing all these things because you can tell when they're lying and they don't want to lie, so
Right.
they want to tell you the honest truth of what they've been doing.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I,
Ah,
I love it. It's a passion of mine.
mm,
It's a passion of mine because man, just the lives that you changed. I can't stress enough how much martial arts saved me throughout all those years. The dads that I really looked up to were my senseis.
mm,
Were my senseis. They were so strong but compassionate.
mm, mm. I like that. And then that also has gone into your School of Rock.
Yeah, the School of Rock. Yeah, I started doing that. We're helping the kids there, and music does the same thing. Music, you have to set goals. Music, you have to be consistent with. Yeah, it takes discipline. And what
Mhm,
I really love about the arts is it does help you if you're brave enough.
mhm,
If you're brave enough to express yourself completely and absolutely authentically. To me, to be an artist is like to be a walking nerve, exposed nerve, and you feel everything.
mhm.
And the question is, do you have the courage enough to express exactly how you feel? You know,
I When you're saying that, I'm picturing someone on a stage because I don't think that I could ever do that, and there's all these people around you, and you are an exposed nerve. Like, so you being able to teach that for other people, well, and you do it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and it's right here in St.
Oh.
George. People can come to the School of Rock and learn music and learn
Mhm.
performance and all of that. Yeah.
Well, and listen to you.
And listen, yeah, listen to Six String Revolver
Mhm.
performing live is to me is a spiritual experience all by itself.
Is it?
It used to be an expression of anger and hate. Now it's expression of love and passion. You know.
So your band then versus now is night and day different
Oh
in a way.
yes, definitely.
Like how you performed then,
Yeah,
obviously,
I'm still
versus
wild. I'm still wild.
yeah. What is this wild? I want to
Oh,
know
running
too.
around, dancing around, climbing on things.
Yeah, well, getting the
Yeah, get
audience
into the
hyped
audience.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
hyped up and stuff. I like
Huh.
to think of it like a tribal experience. Like,
Okay.
okay, like everyone's part of the tribe, right?
Mm.
And as the singer, you're kind of like the shaman, maybe
Okay.
working the tribe up into.
I'm picturing drums and like
Yeah, like a drum circle or
yes,
dancing
yeah.
around the campfire type thing, and the
Uh-huh.
and the and the shaman is leading the whole thing, or
Uh,
and that's the way I kind of feel like it's like a take all of that emotion that I'm feeling, and I try to give it directly to the audience. And my whole idea is allow the escape from everyday life to occur for 90 minutes, where you leave out of there feeling like, all right, that was cool, and you feel good, you're excited, as opposed to
Mhm.
before, I wanted you to feel my pain and anger. Now I want you to feel my love and compassion as I push that out towards the crowd.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna have to go watch you. And
Yeah,
you're gonna be in Casablanca in a few weeks. So
Casablanca on
that's
the
what
26th.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come watch
Oh,
because
I hope you do.
I wanna feel that energy.
Oh, I hope you do. I hope you do. I was just picking out the outfit today.
Oh, you were? Man, you're like getting ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Well you stated that one of your band members, he's not well right now.
Right.
So will he be there
He's
or
going to be there.
oh
He's
he
going to
will
be there.
be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. He's dealing with cancer
Mhm.
of the esophagus, but he is soldiering through, and he's going to be there. He's despite radiation and everything, he loves it so much that he's going to get a liquid IV before he goes on, and
Mm.
he's going to put it all out there.
One before and one after, maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope
I
so. But
huh.
we got a show this weekend, and he's going to do the same thing, and the show on the 26th, and then we're going to give a little break for him to recover, and then we'll be back in October for the I-15 Music Festival.
Oh, that's exciting too.
Yeah,
Touring and being with a whole bunch of other bands.
yeah.
Let's talk about your books.
Okay.
I'm excited. I think that's awesome that you've written them. You've written 4 books.
Yeah.
And which one was the first one you wrote?
The journey.
The-
The journey that kind of tells the story about basically what I just told you.
About your childhood on a.
Childhood and the music and the martial arts, and kind of tells you all of it.
Mhm.
And I updated it and put in my philosophy in there, some Buddhist stuff in there. I put my martial arts principles and stuff in that book, so it's kind of a catch-all
Mm.
book,
Mhm.
and so that was the first one, and then I wrote the promise, living the promise, which is an acronym that talks about how to live a better life. It's 7 principles to help you live a better life, you know. And then I wrote the Soulistic Health, which is a nutrition program, and
What
then
got you into that?
nutrition.
Mhm.
I was asked to go find a diet that would um, help people with mental health issues.
Okay.
So
So why would no, never mind. Keep going. I want to know. I understand
so
mental health and diet.
yeah.
I mean, I know it goes hand in hand
Oh
because of
yeah.
your body and
Oh,
everything like
definitely,
that.
definitely.
So, what brought you to both, or what?
Well, I was asked to go figure it out, and
Mhm.
so I didn't know anything about it at the time, other than like martial arts stuff, So I went to a convention of doctors in Las Vegas, and I went to all of these doctors, and I started asking, what is the best nutritional idea for mental health?
Mhm.
Every single one of them came up with the same answer.
What was that?
the Mediterranean diet.
Explain the Mediterranean. I've heard a little bit about a Mediterranean diet, but, like, is it more like fish or
Whole foods.
whole foods? Okay.
Yeah, yes, fish, not no preservatives. And although that diet is great, I started tweaking it
Mhm.
where I gave up all preservatives. I gave up milk. I gave up red meats. I gave up all these things, and I actually started feeling way better.
Mm.
Uh, I my bipolar started really improving just from diet.
I really do believe in that. Like, going back to talking about, more natural healing,
Hmm.
I do believe it's in food. It can heal it can heal so much.
Yes,
So you started feeling better when you
yes,
started researching.
yes.
Okay.
And I used myself as the guinea pig.
Yeah. I mean, why if you're going to write a book or you're gonna talk about it, you
You
need
have to
to
do it.
experience it. Yes.
That's the way I feel about it. You don't take advice from somebody who hasn't done it before.
Mhm.
And so I was experimenting on myself, and boy, I felt so much better just getting off processed foods. And so if it comes in a bag, I don't typically eat it. If it's made in a factory, forget about it. It has to come from God. It has to come from the earth, or it has to be grown from the earth or raised from the earth.
Mm.
Otherwise, I won't touch it.
There's quite a few co-ops here in St. George. Are you in any of those, like the food co-ops?
No,
No. I'm like, I get some there's one that I'm in right now, and I love all the fruits and vegetables I get from it because I feel like I can't get some of them here.
right.
And so when they bring them in, and I know it's from a farm or, like a more local farm, I really like that.
I go to the farmers markets and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and get vegetables and things, and I
Mhm.
try to be as healthy as possible and eat as healthy as possible. I mean, which is good because I'm a singer, so your body is your instrument, and very
Mhm.
important that you have good nutrition for a singer and be as healthy as you can and as athletic as you can, for a singer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you mind if we go back to some of the stuff that you had to deal with mentally
Sure,
when you were younger?
sure,
Because how did you get uh, through that? Like, did you do any kind of therapy? Did you do, because you said you meditated as well, but
yeah,
can you kind of walk us walk us through that? Because now you're a grown man, you have children, and that's a hard process, especially when you're trying to raise your kids, or you're trying to have your band or your businesses, but yet you're still dealing with some things that you had in your past.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, they sent me to therapists and things. None of them really helped me.
Like the talk therapy that, yeah.
They even did an electric shock type thing on me too. It was just so bad. Made me not trust therapists and people like that. And to be honest with you, they shove these things up my nose, and it was just the worst. It was just the
Like
worst.
like shocking you in
Yeah,
your
like
nose?
shocking. Yeah, it like went up to my nose, through my nose, and through my sinus cavity and stuff. And they ran these wires and all kind. It was just one of the worst experiences that I had had
Was this when you were like 15?
when I was 15, 16 years old. Yeah, yeah, it was
Mhm.
terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, I remember my mom there holding my hand and while they shoving these things up my nose and stuff like that. And then she had to leave the room, and it was awful. It was awful. But yeah, I had to deal with all that. And I remember my mom coming to the hospital, and I'm just drooling everywhere, and I can't. My mouth is so numb, and it's just all these medicines and all this stuff, and none of it really helped me.
Mm.
None of it really helped me. It wasn't until 1999 that God helped me. That was it.
Yeah.
It, uh, I, in fact, so many therapies and stuff is really just based around Buddhism, anyway.
Mhm.
Like some of these, they're either Buddhism or Stoicism, or some of the principles of therapy. And as I researched Buddhism and researched Stoicism and all these different things, it's just,
Stoicism?
yeah, like Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic thought,
Okay.
you know, of excellent. If you get a chance to read Marcus Aurelius Meditations, just one of the best books ever written,
Mm.
ever. But all those things are just principles that they use in therapy. And I was already kind of doing that with myself with the martial arts,
Mhm.
and the research that my senseis would put me under and things like that. And so when I got to therapists, you know, even today, you're like you have to know um, uh, these different principles of therapy. And I don't know, it just after the stuff up my nose and being drugged out of my mind, I just haven't trusted, therapy and things like that in a long time.
Well, God is the ultimate healer.
That's
And
what did it.
yeah. When if you're willing to put your faith in him, I mean, he can take care of the rest for you.
I never would have believed that when I was a Satanist. No, I mean, I literally would take Bibles on stage and rip them up and burn them and all kinds of stuff on stage.
Mm.
You know, terrible.
But that was a different time in your life,
And then
and it made you grow to who you are today.
yeah, and then if it wasn't for that moment in 1999,
Mm.
I don't know where I would be.
Is there anything you'd like to share to our audience about those journeys or help, or I don't know, any advice or anything to give them? Because you've been through a lot.
Don't quit. Have faith. Keep the faith. Don't quit. Don't stop. Just because things are hard, it's okay. They're they're hard for a reason. They're hard because you're supposed to grow.
Mm.
When challenging things come into your life, if you change your perspective on it and you go, I'm going through this to learn something, to get stronger, to get better, it'll help you. It'll help you keep going. And just whatever we do, don't quit. It's such a rarity for us to be born as a human being. You could have been born as a bug, or a cow or something, but
Mhm.
you weren't. You were born as a human being. Do you know how rare it is for a soul to be born as a human being?
Tell me.
It's like a sea turtle takes one breath and dives into the ocean, crosses the ocean, and it just swims and swims and swims, and then all of a sudden lifts his head up out of the ocean, and his head goes through a pink polka dotted inner tube. That's how rare it is.
Mm.
And to think that I spent so much time so angry and just kind of like um, disregarding and wanting to get rid of that life when it's so rare. We are absolutely a unique expression of God. We're here to express something
Mm.
and just have the courage to listen to that voice, no matter what it is, and live it to the fullest and just don't stop.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Anything else you want to share before we end?
Go to sixstringrevolver.com
Yes.
and check out the
Yes.
band or Kane Family Martial Arts. And if you want music lessons, place in town to go to is the School of Rock.
Yes. I love that. And we're very grateful that Raven is on today. And if this resonates with you, go follow him. We
Thank you.
want you to.
Thank you.
And I am so happy I got to talk to you and learn more about your life and
Thank you.
things you've gone through.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, and thank you for joining Irene Cares podcast. And if you like what we talked about today, please subscribe. And if you have a story to tell of your own, please let us know. And we can't wait to see you again. Thank you.